and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here and at the beginning of a brand new league, I feel like I can almost call it a year. It feels like it's a whole new type of thing going on in the midst of a pandemic. Dota 2 still happens, and I've got the wonderful Danog Dota here to join me in this fabulous series, BTS Pro Series online Dota. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you?
I'm great. I have had a nice little wake up, getting ready to go. I've switched my sleep schedule over. Southeast Asia Dota is alive and well, and we're starting early, even before the schedule. It's never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, BTS usually be beyond the schedule, right? But before the schedule, could this be a new thing? New year, you, me, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. I mean, certainly a possibility. We do want to give a quick little shout out here as we get ready to hop into this game to all of our wonderful sponsors. As you guys know, there's a nice little prize pool here, and of course, we got some wonderful people that are all there to make this happen. We're being sponsored by the lovely Monster Energy, keeping us very nice and topped off at this point, as well as LootBet. So be sure to check out all of the odds over on that site as well. Danog, my God, I need to talk a little bit about so many different things. Like, my mind is spinning because there's a billion things to talk about with this series going on, and then the continuation of all the matches that are going on. But let's just go right into the draft because it's going fast and furious. The most important thing is that there's no Tims in this game. It's going to be Febby popping in, and it looks like he's going to be playing the IO.
Yeah, I mean, raise your ducks if you're a Febby fan. It's a little bit of a nice reward for people that have kept track with him throughout his career. And of course, Io, one of those heroes that he's really been synonymous for in his time across his Dota 2 career. And we talk about new things changing. We're seeing a lot of the same coming through very much from CR's side. This is a very safe draft going with a Centaur Puck Lich. Not necessarily versatile, but good in a lot of different aspects of the game.
Totally. It's the type of I guess the thing to me that I think we should also mention real quickly before we get too far into the draft, because I realize we did just sort of plow right into it, is that this is the old IO team. For those of you guys that might not be fully aware as to what it is that's going on, it's the 3/5 of the lineup, Mushi, Ohio, as well as Ben-Hur, and then they've popped in a couple of new young guns as well. So we'll see how they do in that. I'm not sure what the whole story is behind it. Obviously, Miracle has gone off to play for other organizations right now. I think he's playing for T1. I'm not sure what Bimbo is doing, though. Do you have much of an idea on that one?
No, not really. He tends to go in and out of teams, although he was back on the TI9 Mineski, I believe.
Right.
And that's where the IO Esports organization even stemmed from. It went Mineski, IO Esports, and now we've got CR. So jumping around a little bit, but hopefully this team is able to find some success and stick together because they haven't played any officials just yet as this exact lineup.
Right. This is the new and improved roster, possibly, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, Dragon Knight taken now. I feel like it's one of those heroes that oftentimes when you see Storm, like the Dragon Knight's the like very safe and just almost brain dead type of pick where it's like, oh, it's good. It's got some good lockdown, a stun. It doesn't really deal that much trouble in the laning stage. But the weird little caveat to this is that they've already picked up a Templar Assassin. So I don't know, a little bit interesting. Like safe lane DK, side lane TA. What's the haps here?
You would have to think that it would be safe lane TA. Sorry, mid lane TA. I feel like she's much more dependent on levels than Dragon Knight, and she's able to just rotate through to the jungle easier. Stack up a few camps for herself and use the Psyblades to flash farm a little bit. Is going to be somewhat vulnerable to ganks if CR choose to make this puck like a roaming 4, for example.
Mm.
So Io and Coddle not the greatest at recovering from that. Io essentially wants to be tethered together with a Dragon Knight at all points of the game. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we've seen in the past Dragon Knight pick up an Aghanim Scepter and then just become this beast that flies over terrain and does a crazy amount of damage. And it feels like it's very much, it always has been, but even more than ever, it's objective-based gaming is the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not been seeing, with the exception of in my pubs, the games go into like crazy super duper late status. It always feels like, particularly with these pro teams, they've just become so much better at not only playing fast around the map, but also taking the objectives afterwards, not just sort of mindlessly running from kill to kill to kill. Although some teams do that still as well. Eat your heart out, OG. But we'll see how it goes. I will say, I think the TNC lineup feels like it's more attuned to taking down the buildings with Dragonite ulti and then TA being able to get you a quick Roche. Obviously, TA is a much harder carry than she used to be with the Meld Bash that she's got at 25. But I still have this in the back of my head right now. I'm feeling like this CR draft, with the Puck, with the Storm Spirit, they're really well positioned to go late game if they can get there.
Yeah, and they're going with the Legion Commander. So yeah, I was thinking that maybe they're lacking a little bit of lockdown. Yeah, you've got the Dragon Knight's done, and if Keeper of the Light's on point with a Will-O-Wisp, but if you've already got a Storm, you need some way to control him. And I feel like an LC is a good way to do that, especially if you can purge off as well. Maybe the the silence on the Puck.
Wow, and they're just gonna take the Troll Warlord afterwards. Interesting, very very interesting. So it was we were thinking about with like Febby playing IO. Armel is going to be playing the TA. So basically, what you're expecting there with Gabby being the safe lane Dragon Knight, most likely. Do you like it? The sets are amazing. I'm not sure how I feel about the draft right now from KCR. It feels very greedy.
It does feel greedy, but it feels like they're good at a lot of things. Stargazer, one of the new arrivals there, he's very much able to take towers. I thought they might have trouble if they just went with Zhao Yu to be able to do it. Yeah, you can hit a few towers with Retaliate, but a Storm Spirit and a Puck and a Lich aren't really the ones that are going to be pushing that high ground very effectively. But Troll Warlord, with all of this protection that he's going to be able to get from Mushi, I mean, have a look at TNC's damage. It's basically all physical. So that Frost Shield is going to come in really useful. So look at Mushi and his positioning throughout this game as a big indicator of how they're going to go.
Okay, I like that point that you're bringing up there. Yeah, it is really interesting that TNC did not really opt through the next two picks that they had to pick up any of that mixed damage. Really, I mean, you got Breathe Fire and like Overwhelming Odds, but that's it's piddles. It's nothing. Nada. Nadia. More
and they're
words
very
that start with
confident.
N.
They're really confident with starting with the TA in their first phase as well. Realizing that, look, we just find it a really strong hero. We have confidence in Armel that he's going to be able to win the lane, because that's what it is these days, right? With the 2-minute runes being removed, winning mechanical skill in the mid lane is worth so much more, because you're not going to just get a lucky arcane rune or a lucky regen or a lucky double damage at 2-3 minutes into the game and somehow come back into it.
Right. Yeah, that's a really important point. It always feels like that's something that I've still caught myself a couple of different times running in there for, picking up that rune. But in some of these matchups, that can be lane determining, game determining, particularly if you're dependent upon a matchup mid going one particular way. So we're going to see how this goes for him. Ben-Hur moving out across the map. Got Armel already ready to place down some observer wards. Doesn't look like they're going to get scouted there, as KP just going to brazenly walk uphill and already asserting some dominance over Stargazer. What do you think about this, like, move in and take the shrine? I feel like it's some mental damage that gets done.
It's a mental damage, but as you can see, it was just a 1-for-1 trade, so does it really matter? I mean, I guess you can TP in behind them, but it's a 6-second channel, so...
I just mean that you're running at him, right? You're saying, you're taunting at this guy, you're like, hey, come on, I dare you to come at me. I guess now the mental damage is done the other direction. He leveled Overwhelming Odds and just running at him. What the hell is KP doing?
I think a big part of that as well was to scout out the lane. You saw that March joined them as well, and you want to make sure you're having a favorable matchup with KP being the one to come up against Stargazer, just making sure that it wasn't the other way around, that they'd gone for an aggressive sort of setup.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. I can dig that. Does look like the Centaur was able to pick up the bounty rune there. March not quite in position to sneak it away with the blinding light. And so they will retreat back the other direction. We'll see what they end up doing with this. If Ohio's just going to be running around trying to grab some creep waves later on and pulling back behind the tower. I feel like that's just almost all that you see from Dota nowadays in a way.
And they're still opting to go with the headdress on 3 of the heroes, actually. With Io, obviously, it has insane value with the extra regen that you're able to get. Keeper of the Light makes kind of sense as well. You're able to hit at a very safe range. You've got the speed, so you can very easily poke the enemy. And I suppose they just want to not lose out on that trading battle, so Ohio's picked it up as well.
Oh, a little bit of a misplay there. Mr. March accidentally, while he was trading hits with the puck, pulled the creep wave back into the tower. So the creep aggro situation there, a little bit funky. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like this item has been nerfed so many times, but I think it just speaks to how incredibly broken it was early that, everybody was picking it up, and still they're picking it up, even after all of these nerfs. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Down to the 2 health regen per second. And there's a lot of aggression happening on this top side of the map. I mean, KP and Febby are just running at Mushi and Stargazer, but got the wave pushed under their tower, so I think they'd be relatively happy with that if you're on CR's end.
Yeah, they seem to be dealing with this pressure pretty well. Likewise, though, I mean, it is eventually going to be a regen war that you will win with the IO. Although Febby there did break the tether, and it's going to need to back up a little bit. Takes too much damage too early on. That's not the way to do it. As Armel and Ben-Hur playing it very close to the chest here. It's going to get that. Actually, no salve delivered. So Ben-Hur is in a lot of trouble in this lane, as TA can kind of just stand aggressively in front of him and force him back. So a nice little win here. She's having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, TA is always going to do relatively well as the game moves on, but the fact that it's pre-level 3 and she was already winning, yeah, Ben-Hur dropping very, very low. But, TA, now she's got time to continue to make the lane move to her advantage.
Let's see how that goes. Again, we were talking about down bottom here, March trading hits with Ohio consistently, as Centaur having a nice little time for himself, 9 CS so far in the early going. So right now, kind of as you would expect, I think everybody's coming into this anticipating that TNC is going to be the favorite. They're coming out a little bit ahead in the CS department. You still feel like there's some strength to this Lich once the game actually gets underway and teams are getting into fights because of all that physical damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's 60% damage reduction. That's nothing to sneeze at one bit when you're essentially countering 3 different heroes with it.
Yeah. That's really nifty.
One thing I'm really going to be looking out for, and I think could be dependent, side, they picked up the Keeper of the Light with their first pick. And that's... It meant that you were able to eat on people, for example. But now there's Spirit if you use it on the Dragon Knight with his dragon.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not quite as easy, and you're going to need something else to help keep that here in place, or just kill them within the duration of 1 Dragon Tail. Why need 2 and you just get them with 1? Don't know how likely that is, but man can dream.
Man can dream. I suppose it gives you the setup for the Legion Commander to get the duel off, but then if all of that attention's being focused on the Storm Spirit, that means that Mushi can get the Frost Shield off. So it's kind of like a game of footsies, I guess, to use a fighting game community term. Nice.
I like to do it. Draw from wherever you're comfortable with.
Ben-Hur is having a rough time in this lane. He's sitting at 8th on net worth.
Yeah, it's been a rough one. I think ever since I don't know if there was a salve that got canceled, or he just didn't bring one out, or whatever it was that happened, but it feels like TA is basically just taken off since then. There was some early aggression where he was able to get a electric vortex onto TA, but the glyph underneath the tower, so that way the creeps wouldn't die and drag her onto her, kept her alive. So Ben-Hur gonna be relegated back to the jungle here, try and clear through these camps that he's stacked up for himself, but right now just level 5 and such low HP. It's not great. Oh, Stargazer up top. Gets brought down. KP, big win there, and Mushi thinking about getting aggressive again. He does have another Frost Blast soon, but no mana to cast it.
Nicely done with taking that, I believe it was a double camp. Now they've got the bottle that's going to be coming out to the Storm Spirit, so I want to see if TNC is kind of on point with checking the inventory of Ben-Hur here, because they could send, for example, March up and try and snipe that bounty room, which is going to be very important if he wants to actually stay in this lane.
Absolutely. Looks like we were getting a little bit of lag a second ago. We'll have to keep our eyes on it and see what's actually happening, but in the meantime, about 1,000 gold lead into the favor of TNC. We'll see if they can keep up this momentum in the early goings. Ben-Hur is level 6 now, and they're fully converging right now onto Armel. This would be a big win for them if they could manage to get the kill. Well, moving in. The jump in, pull him back, has six charges, TPing away, trying to get it, and Armel is going to be able to escape. Mushi did not have a point in the gaze, and, well, nobody is able to break the TP.
Yeah. Good presence of mind and perhaps a little bit of luck with Mushi being somewhat underleveled. That's what happened. Topside, KP and Febby, they're happy to just...
Yeah.
And just across the board, really, that's having a decent time in the... So they're fine with that. They're fine with this sort of trade. It means all three of their cores are going to be coming online at a relatively good rate.
Mm-hmm. Well, so far so good. 6.5 minutes. Right now, DK sitting top of the CS charts is going to get the pressure onto this bottom lane and try and see if he can take down this tower. At least get some extra pressure onto it. Centaur not the best at being able to stop this necessarily, as he's taking a good amount of harassment here from the DK. But yeah,
what are they doing in this mid lane? So Mushi and Ben-Hur actually smoked straight after Ben-Hur stacked this camp just above him, and it looks like they've got a lot of indecision happening. He just had a Boots of Speed delivered, so trying to chase the TA. It's a little confusing. It seems somewhat disjointed.
Yeah, this is very bizarre. Not really sure what the end goal was there, but I mean, wisely Armel realizing, and oh my god, look at this ancient stack. That is enormous. Wow.
If you can take it.
All right, what's the CS or net worth at? 3,300 right now. He just got some royal jelly. Dude, that is huge. What the hell?
March has been doing work.
Yeah. Does anybody know that this is going on? Ohio's going to come and test it. So they do scan out that area, and they realize that it's happening. Does get an arcane broom handle. Oh, this is a lot. This is a lot if you can come in and steal some of these, or even just get the experience for it. But Armel's just walking in, level 9. He's just going to beat down Ohio. Ohio has to get the heck out of there. But already 1,000 gold into the coffers of Armel, and he can keep some extra pressure on there if he wants to. Ohio moving over to the side, marches over there as well. Tries to jump away and will be able to escape for the moment. So they got through a lot of those ancient stacks for Armel, and actually he's going to be able to finish it here as well.
Yeah, and it meant that March as well was just able to sit mid. He's able to pick up some of this experience for himself. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Ben-Hur did take that smoke and try and make something happen mid. He was getting bodied in the lane. And so I thought, well, okay, this is a good chance to be relatively safe to farm up your stacks that you've made for yourself on your side of the map, but just opting for something different. Not paying off this time.
Yeah, not working. Well, it does look now a 3,000 gold lead, and 9 minutes in. This is, I mean, is that just all based on that stack right there, or was it also just like winning out in the other lanes at the same time as well?
I mean, before the lanes, before that even happened, every single lane had gone TNC's way. You know, when you have a Dragon Knight who's ahead of a Centaur on net worth, like just think about how Gabby has to trade, right? He has to go into melee range, and you've got the Retaliate that's maxed out. So any sort of harass is just going to go the Centaur's way. And despite all of that, he was able to stack up that massive Ancient stack. So he wasn't really feeling too much pressure. You can see they've smoked here. They're ready to take out this this outpost back away from them.
Yep. Easy peasy, getting that up.
Another stack.
Now they find themselves one. He's just going to stampede away. There was no stun available from Gabby, but obviously Centaur not knowing that, just going to be able to retreat back and get this bounty rune as well as they pressure for the bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah. Oh. KP goes down, but it's a 4-man rotation and you're going to lose a tower for it. I think TNC may commit. No, Gabby's just going to move back and maybe put some pressure on this mid lane because he popped that dragon form to be able to quickly take out that bottom tier 1 tower.
And, well, there they go for it already in the area. Mushi's not quite level 6 yet, though, so being able to come and contest this is feeling a little bit tough. Armel diving behind and finding that hook. Ohio is just dead. It happens so freaking quickly as they are eliminating them one by one. And, I mean, I don't know what he thought was going to happen here. He's not careful. This is just going to be a dead centaur. Febby coming in to go for the body block in the duel. And that was just never going to work.
Yeah, a little bit confusing. I mean, he just used his Stampede on the bot side to get away from that 3-man gank, and it was a wise choice to use it. But why then TP into this pushing lineup? You know, as we said, the Elder Dragon form was used. You've got a TA who's easily 1-0 lane. Doesn't have the Desolator yet, but it's just being delivered to her, I believe. Yep. It's just going to go from bad to worse in my mind. Gone in deep though.
Oh my god. All right, he went a bit too far. In some trouble. Heal comes back around. They save him just in time. Now Armel jumps in aggressively. Now they don't have a second save, but the duel to try and turn it. They might keep Armel alive actually as they chase forward looking for more. Blinks out. Oh, the refraction kept him alive. This is not the fight that TNC want, but
Good
somehow
shade,
they're
Frost.
kind of holding off for the moment. I think that they have gone a bit too deep. Gabby's trying to chase down Ben-Hur here, and Armel, this absolute assassin, is going to chase, get this third kill now. That was like the worst fight that I've ever seen TNC take, and they won it. Like,
Yep.
what in God's name?
And it shows the stage this game's at. Look, they're diving a tier 2 tower. They don't care. They're just easily
Jesus.
able to take him down.
Oh my God. That is
Yeah.
insane.
You know when I said they were waiting for a throw? Well, that was as good a throw as you're going to get.
Yeah, and it didn't work. It didn't matter. Unreal.
And even if Armel died, he still had the Aegis, so it's not like it would have been a huge deal for him. KP going down, yeah, and just that great tether and instant mechanism use from Febby, able to keep him alive. And I mean, did they even lose any heroes? I don't think they did, right?
They lost.
Oh, they lost
Coddle.
a couple.
Yeah, they lost March. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to solve the what seems to be a connection issue that's going on. I'm not exactly sure what's happening because my internet still seems to be working fine. But there's a lot of
Mine's
drop
totally fine on
frames.
my end.
Bizarre.
Oh, they've caught out Storm Spirit in the mid lane.
Yeah, Ben-Hur jumping away. They have another stun there in a second, but not going to get it.
He's got the mana leak as well on him, so has to be very careful about running.
Yeah, gotta be real careful. They still have the duel if they want to use it there. Chase,
Blinks
Gabby.
in.
Oh, he missed. He got the stun on the troll instead.
I think that was tactical, just standing right on top of the
Yeah.
Storm Spirit, just bait that out. Not too much. Even now, if the troll joins, he doesn't have a not a hero, basically. And he's got a heal from KP if he needs.
Out there, they were relocating in, managed to get the blink forward, and now saving the duel. point.
Yeah. Well, TNC will definitely want to defend this bottom outpost. They've got both of them on CR at this point, and it's 20 seconds until it's up online.
All right.
KB's in deep again.
Be careful. There still are a lot of people nearby. There's no Will-O-Wisp, but Mushi is just going to get two-shotted right there. Quick and easy blow-up. And, man, just like that. Chase for more? No, they're not going to need to.
Ooh. An Arcane Rune as well.
Oh, jump forward. Blink, stun, wants to get him. They have duel still available if they want to use it, and they will finally pop it out there. Popping the GG branch right before he got dueled. I feel like Centaur knew it was coming. But again, Ohio, he's going to pull this creep wave back. They're slowing this down to the best of their abilities. On the side of CR.
He's doing all right at it. I mean, it's small wins, right, that they're hoping will snowball and become something larger for them, but I don't know, I just feel like this Dragon Knight's only going to get stronger and stronger. He's picked up the Hyperstone now, going into the AC, and then the BKB. I'm sure if it does go that long, they'll pick up the Ag Scepter afterwards. He's also got his level 15, so that's an extra 30 damage. It just feels like TNC's time is now.
Yeah. I mean, that's again, the silver lining is that they can't quite push high ground like right this second. You know, so I don't know. Very interesting. Well, Stargazer, Diffusal Blade's done. He's going to try and pressure this bottom side and see if maybe he can pull TNC back for a moment. Seems very unlikely. But we'll have to watch and wait and see. Oh, relocate? Yeah, there's going to... This is all you need to do. Just relocate to push out the waves. And there's not two heroes here to make them punished for this.
You can see the rest of the team are sticking around. Oh, Stargazer is just standing in the trees right. No. And now he can safely come out and farm. He's going into a BKB next as well, so very much necessary because of that Heaven's Halberd pickup by Gabby to make sure that he's not completely useless in these fights.
Stun. Going on the Legion yet again, trying to take him down. They have pipe available. Jump in, gets the heal. Oh, they break the tether with another tether as Io. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it was fancy, but it doesn't end up working. All right, tier 3 tower being assaulted. And it looks like that tower is down. They cannot stop the creeps at this point. 11,000 gold lead right now, as they will hit another hoof stomp. Again. Ooh, good reaction there as they get the stun turnaround onto Ben-Hur. He has to jump the hell away from there for the moment. But already they're backing out. They've got Io relocated, or rather tethered up to Gabby yet again. And all they can really do is just sort of nibble at them. There's no point in which you feel in danger for TNC. As long as you've got that Io behind you, it's all fine.
Yeah, I mean, throughout all of that, he had 70 HP regen per second, which is insane. And I love March's positioning throughout as well. Like, if any position 5 is watching this that just wants to improve in your pubs, yeah, his team's in a more comfortable position, but he was just standing well back. There was no way that March was dying in that encounter.
Yeah. Let's see here now. BKB almost there for that troll. What else do we have? Well, not really almost Heaven's Halberd for Centaur. He's still a ways away from that one. But they get the second Roche.
AC is just going to be picked up now by the DK. That's very deadly.
It's dangerous. Spooky, spooky. I like the
that armor reduction. Yeah. I mean, they've chosen to go the TA having the net, so just wanting to lock down the Storm Spirit as much as he can, and the puck.
Right. Speaking of which...
Oh, they found Mushi.
Lockdown one on the other side. Armella's found the Centaur, the silence, the blow-up. KP, always there for the kill steal. I don't think that they're going to be too upset about it this time around. Arcane Rune available there as well. If they want to take it, they're going to leave it for Gabby, who's getting ready to pop his Dragon's form yet again.
Yeah. You saw Gabby there pinging out the range creep that's still alive in the mid lane, saying, "Hey, we still got something here. Backdoor protection, not going to be a factor. Let's go take this top side. We've got Aegis, we've got Cheese, we've got AC.
Oh my god.
They're in a comfortable position. Look at this tower. It's melting, and he doesn't even have the Dragon Knight next to it."
Yeah, they're just chilling, and now it's really going to be gone. Tier 3 tower goes down. Gabby turns now onto these melee barracks.
Smoke.
Well, see
Going
if they
for the
can find
wraparound.
something. I mean, they don't have a blink dagger on Puck. Like, what are they going to do? The best they
They're
can
trying
hope.
to find March.
Maybe. All right. Looking for the follow-up. Febby's there. They're going to jump onto him in a second. Febby. Oh, everybody jumps onto Febby, and he's not going to go down. He's still living through this. The press the attack, keeping him alive. Armel turns onto another. They find themselves a couple more kills. Poor Ben-Hur has just been left alone so many times. And GG is going to be called 23-6. A beatdown if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, Ohio not wanting to give him the rampage, and yeah, when you go for that last-ditch effort, and you're not even able to take down a support, it's rough. They weren't able to push out any of those lanes like they were previously to try and get some sort of trade from it, and yeah, clinical display from TNC. That was basically based off winning their lanes. I'm interested to see if CR go back to the well with a similar sort of draft next time, because, I mean, what you often see is that it's not so much the draft that was bad, it was the execution. And I didn't mind the draft all too much.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that we both kind of agreed that it was a little bit of the greedier one, but it didn't feel like it should have been a beatdown like that to any in any type of way. But it was, and to be honest with you, that gives me more hope for TNC to probably put together something similar next time around, depending upon how it goes. But we'll see. Final thoughts before we go into a short little break in game number 2. Are you feeling like there's any sort of glimmers of hope really at all for him there? What's the are there any other main takeaways you got?
I mean, that's the thing, right? They haven't played any officials yet together.
Right.
It's going to take time to come together. And to go up against TNC as their first opponent, pretty rough, but
Mhm.
we'll see what they can do from here. I've got hope that they'll be able to take out a few wins, maybe not against TNC, but throughout the rest of this league setup.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a little bit with game number 2. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few for that one indeed.